YouTube, it's Zoe, and when you're watching this, I will actually be in London interning for a company. Really exciting, but that also means that I will be working 40 hours a week and I won't have as much time to read as I usually do during a typical summer. But I am determined to read something, so that's why I've put together this list of my top 7 books that I want to read during this summer, the ones that are my priority, so I will never have the excuse of, I simply didn't know what to read. I have a game plan now, so let's get cracking. First is Leah on the Offbeat by Becky Albertalli. This is the companion novel to Simon vs. the Homo sapiens agenda. It's also a contemporary romance, which are my favorite books to read during the summer and pretty much all year round, so you will see a few of this genre in this list. I have already started this. I am 100 pages into it, so I'm already following my game plan. I'm kind of on top of it. Becky Albertalli's books are such comfortable reads. My plan was to finish this before I left for London because I don't want to bring any physical books with me abroad, but I don't know how realistic that is because I leave very soon, so I may have to download the ebook from the library, but this book just came out, so I'm sure there's so many holds on this book already. Oh no, crisis, but I will finish it this summer. I am invested in the story. I need to see how certain things go. Hopefully they go the way I want them to go. This tells the story of Simon from Simon vs. the Homo sapiens agenda. His friend group, including Leah, are all about to graduate high school. They are going to prom and getting accepted into college, but also their friend group is disintegrating. And we learn that Leah is bisexual and having feelings about certain people. Then I have another YA contemporary romance, which is The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. I started this when it first came out like a year ago. I read about the first quarter of the book and I put it down for some reason. I don't know why I do this. I don't even know how it happens. I am finally planning on finishing this book. I will never abandon it again, hopefully. This book is told in multiple perspectives and it follows Natasha, whose family is about to get deported back to Jamaica, even though they have lived in New York City for many years and Natasha doesn't call Jamaica home. It also follows Daniel, who never feels like a good enough son because he never is able to meet his parents' high expectations. Natasha and Daniel bump into one another one day in New York City and they only have 12 hours until Natasha and her family are deported, so they quickly fall in love and try to make these 12 hours last. I don't know if this book covers beyond these 12 hours. I guess I'll have to read it. I read Everything by Nicola Yoon 1 year ago and I enjoy her writing style. I like how she incorporates not just prose. I think in this book she has different histories, a history of a name, a history of a family, that sort of thing. Also, this cover. I live for this cover. Next, to change things up a bit, I'm going to read a fantasy book, which is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. This is another book that I have already started. Oh my gosh! The first 3 are books that I've already started, so I'm pretty sure I can get through these. I read the first 50 pages. I read them so quickly. I already really enjoy it. I don't want to judge it. I don't want to give it a 5-star before I've even read like an 1/8 of the book, but I'm vibing with it. Anyway, this follows Zaylee, who lives in a world where magic has been eradicated. One day, magic disappeared, and the evil king felt threatened by the Magi's, so he killed all of them, including Zaylee's mother. Zaylee teams up with a rogue princess and is determined to bring back magic and take down the monarchy. And this is inspired by West African mythology. One of my favorite things in fantasy novels is elemental magic or different branches of magic, different types of magic users, and that's what this book has. There are different magi clans, so there is magi of life and death, magi of mind, spirit, and dreams, magi of water, magi of fire, magi of air, magi of iron and earth, magi of darkness and light, magi of health and disease, magi of time, and magi of animals. Yes. I saw that there was a test to determine what clan you would belong to, so when I'm reading this book, definitely gonna take it, and I'll let you all know what clan I belong to. Magi of Time sounds pretty cool. Sounds like Doctor Who. Is Doctor Who in this clan? The fourth book I want to read is They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera, or really any Adam Silvera book, but this one is the one I am leaning towards. I have met Adam Silvera. He is really nice. He has sent me all of his books, and I haven't read any yet. I have heard nothing but good things about his books. You'd think I would have read them. This is a summer where that all changes. I am finally going to give him the respect he deserves. And I am really excited to read this book. The name itself makes me want to read it. They both die at the end. Spoiler! This is set in a world where you are called at midnight on the day you are supposed to die, your end day. And it follows two boys, Mateo and Rufus, who are both going to die on September 5th. And before they die, they want to make a friend. So they use this app called Last Friend. They get matched with one another, and they spend their last day together. It sounds so sad already. I'm going to save this for a time when I really want to cry my eyes out, which happens more frequently than you'd think. And then I want to read A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I have read one other V.E. Schwab / Victoria Schwab book, which was The Archived. It was her first book. I didn't love it, but everyone was telling me to read this one next. In this, there are parallel Londons. Yes, London. That's why I'm reading this summer. There is Red London, White London, Grey London, and once upon a time there was a Black London. This follows Kel, who is one of the last Antares, a magician who has the rare ability of traveling between these parallel Londons. He was raised in Red London and acts as an ambassador, but on the side he is also a smuggler, and one of these smuggles, is that a word? One of these smugglings goes awry and he has to escape to Grey London, where he meets some interesting people. I've heard from a few friends that it reminds them kind of like Harry Potter, so that plus the fact it takes place in London, that all sums up to a pretty darn good looking book. Next is a book that hasn't even come out yet, but it will be hitting stores this summer, and that is Save the Date by Morgan Matson. It comes out June 5th. I've been waiting so long for another Morgan Matson book. Her books are summer to me. It doesn't fully represent what my summers are because my summers are generally boring, but they are an idealized version of summer that I love to read, I love to consume, I need more of. So this follows Charlie Grant, whose sister is getting married this upcoming summer weekend, and it is the first time in years that all of her family members will be together under one roof. She is determined to make this the most amazing, perfect family weekend ever because their childhood home is about to be sold, and everything she knew will be gone. However, of course, nothing goes according to plan, and there's gonna be romance. Though I always love how Morgan Matson's books don't just focus on romance, they also focus on friendship and family. This seems to be a very heavily family-focused book, and I'm digging that. And finally, the last book on my summer reading game plan is Anne of Avonlea by L.M. Montgomery, which is the second book in the Anne of Green Gables series. I was thinking about rereading the first book, Anne of Green Gables, again this summer, but I need to actually move on with the rest of the series. I keep rereading the first book with the intention of continuing on with the rest of the series, but then I always get distracted. as it goes and I never continue on. So this time, I'm just going to pick up the second book. I'm a little sad to be seeing Anne grow up. I know she's not that much older than she is in the first book, but I want her to stay as an innocent 12-year-old. Was she 12 in the first book? 13? I don't know. I want her to stay an innocent child, okay? I don't want her to grow up. She's gonna be Peter Pan. Oh wait, she's only 16 in this book. Never mind, I can read it. It's okay. Anne of Green Gables always seems so appropriate for the springtime or summertime, especially with these covers. I'm so excited to get to all of these books this summer, especially because I've already started a few of them, and other ones like Adam Silvera's and Anne of Green Gables are ones that I have been putting off for far too long. Hopefully I will be able to find the time to read these. These are only 7 books. These 6 plus Save the Date doesn't seem like too much of a stretch. However, I won't be bringing any physical books along with me to London. 1, because of suitcase space, and 2, because there's nowhere for me to put books where I'm living in London. So what I read this summer will depend on what ebooks I can get my hand on, and I'm trying to get most of my ebooks from the library to save money. So hopefully my library will have these books. Fingers crossed, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know down below what your summer reading game plan is. What are the top books you are going to read this summer? Also, let me know which one of my books you think I should pick up first. Should I continue reading the ones I've already started, or should I just screw it and start a completely different one? I don't know. Let me know down below. I love you all. I'll talk to you all soon in my next video. Bye!